Hello, YouTube. It's Pirate Wizard Dragon here. Um, just wanted to do an update on my life. Won't be a very good one, but I'll try. I just got back from a pretty long trip. I drove my minivan from Hays, Kansas to Asheville, North Carolina, where I had an interesting time. There was disappointments, there was blessings, there was different things. Um, I've been trying many months now to find my place in the world again. Um, I pretty much was convinced for many years that I was supposed to be a tattoo artist, and that was my dream and my goal. And I worked hard towards it. I did an apprenticeship. I went to school. I got a pretty sizable portfolio of tattoos I've done over the last since 2011 when I started this process. Um, about a year ago, me and my wife decided to leave Colorado and move to Hays, Kansas, which was honestly the biggest fucking mistake I've ever made in my life. I hate it here. I keep trying to like it. I keep trying to come up with new ideas to make it work here, but I just cannot tell you how many times I've been ridiculed, publicly humiliated, laughed at, almost physically attacked because of my politics, and definitely made to feel that I'm an outsider here, and I'll never be even tolerated, much less accepted as a member of the community by the majority of the community here. I'm not saying it's everyone. There is exceptions to the rule. There's a restaurant here that's treated me very well right across from where I live that allowed me to do a beautiful mural. Um, but I had a fucked up experience happen to me on Halloween where I was fired because I said something about our stupid president, which I cannot stand immensely. I can't stand what he's doing to the world and to the country and to the environment, and just I don't like him. And I made the mistake and opened my mouth and got in trouble. And police came to my house and threatened to arrest me if I ever go back to the place that I was fired from for, basically stating my political opinion. And that sent me into a spiral of depression. And I won't even go into the details because it's just unbelievable, the stuff that's happened to me since I moved here. I've had two different times where people have stared at me and then pointed at me and nudged somebody and started laughing at me here in this Trumpville redneck town of Hays, Kansas. And I know everybody says, well, just ignore the rednecks. That's real easy to say when you're not the one that's being jeered at and made fun of. It's not easy to ignore it. After a while, it starts to wear you down. It starts to, I don't know, it feels like goddamn junior high. Like I have not been made fun of like that since I've been in junior high. Even in high school, like when I got made fun of, I fought back and he got me in trouble, but I can't fight back out here. I'll get killed. There's too many of them. I wish to God we would have never left Colorado. Colorado was you don't know what you have till you leave. And my wife, unfortunately, loves it here. She got a good job at the university. She has found a place where she fits in. I don't fit here. I keep trying to convince myself I'm going to make it here, but I hate it here, and I don't want to be here. I just don't. I want to leave. I want to go back to Colorado. I'd rather live in my van down by the beach or something in California than live here in Hays. I I've been struggling with depression since October, on and off. Just, I'm an okay tattoo artist. I'm not like a master, ink master, or anything like that. I'm not a novice. I consider myself journeyman level. I've tattooed since 2011, on and off, part time. This last year, I've done very little tattooing because in Hays, Kansas, when I moved here, my plan when I moved here was to get a shop. I was going to try to open up a shop because there was only 3 shops in town, and I figured with the college being here, I could survive and make a living just tattooing college kids here in town. But I contacted the Board of Cosmetology, which runs the licensing in this whole state for tattoo artists, and was told that I needed to jump through all these hoops, and I tried to find out what exactly it is what they wanted, and they said, "Oh, that's not how it works. You send us what you have. You send us all the documentation." They wanted me to get a notarized signature of all the training that I got from my instructors and my teachers and the person that did my apprenticeship. They wanted me to provide them with log books of all the time that I've studied different needle techniques and all this stuff. I don't have any of that. I went to a school. I contacted the school to try to get some of that, and the school went out of business. I contacted the state agency in Colorado that helped pay for some of the schooling to see if they had any record from the school of what was required of me. Now that they lost everything. The only proof I have that I'm a tattoo artist is my portfolio, and that's not good enough for the state of Kansas. They want documented, signed, notarized bologna and cheese bullshit. And then when I finally got to, I talked to the lady that runs the Board of Cosmetology, and she wasn't very clear on what she wanted. She went on vacation, and I talked to her secretary, and she said, "Oh, that's not how it works. You send us what you have, and we'll let you know if it's enough. And it'll never be enough because you're from another state. That's why there's no guest artists in Kansas, and that's why there's no tattoo conventions in Kansas, because the tattoo artists here in Kansas don't want other tattoo artists here. And quite frankly, I don't blame them. That's why Colorado's so damn saturated with tattoo artists, because I can go to Denver tomorrow and have my license in 5 hours and be tattooing the next day with the ways the laws are set up in Colorado. And it's blown up. Since marijuana got legalized in Colorado, the tattooing parlors have tripled, if not quadrupled. When I lived in Longmont, when I first lived there was 3, maybe 4 shops. There's like 13 or 14 now. There was like maybe 12 to 15 professional tattoo artists tattooing in Longmont, Colorado. Now there's over 50. So it's really competitive, and I don't mind competition, but it got really expensive in Colorado, and we wanted to buy a home. That's why we moved here, and we bought a home. We bought a nice, decent size house for $97,000, me and my wife, but I can't work here. I've been here for a year. I made $600 this last year. I just can't do it. Like I can't do it, and it's caused problems in a relationship. It's made me fall into a depression that I don't know how to get out of except to leave. I've implored my wife to let's get out of here. This state sucks. I lost my health care by moving here. I lost all kinds of things we did not see ahead of time because we didn't know. I mean, we just didn't know the way things in Kansas are so 1980s versus the way things are in Colorado. And that's no exaggeration. If you don't believe me, come here and hang out in Hays, Kansas. You'll see what I'm talking about. Go to a baseball game or something. It's like and I'm generalizing, but the majority of people here, they don't want change. They want their little bubble, and they want to keep it that way, and they don't like outsiders. You see Confederate flags. There's a lot of racism. I've heard derogatory slang used on more than one occasion to describe, certain elements of teams. I can't stand it here. It's beyond primitive. It's beyond sad, and it makes me sad to be a human here. And so I'm struggling. I just got back yesterday from a trip to Asheville. Like I said, I drove my minivan there, 1,170 miles. It was a little disappointing in some ways. I didn't get to spend as much time with my friends as I would have liked because they were busy and they had plans. They went and did stuff that I would have liked to do with them, but I wasn't invited. They went to a museum, didn't invite me because I don't know if they just didn't think I was going to actually go when I said I was going to go, because, it was 1,170 miles away, so I don't think they really thought I was going to show up. So, and when I did, I tattooed my buddy and his son, and, I spent some time with them, but they were busy. They did a lot of stuff that they didn't include me in, and I wish I would have been included in it. It made me feel kind of isolated and rejected in a way, and I know that wasn't their intention. They're busy people. So sorry, my nose is bleeding. That's why I'm rubbing it. I picked at it, and I've been kind of indulging my habits of picking and nervousness because it's what I do when I'm having a hard time. But as soon as I got home, I was in a good mood. I had a decent trip home. I met up with a friend of mine, and she treated me wonderful. Like I haven't been treated that well by a female in a long, long time. She actually made me feel special and listened to me and listened to everything I said and didn't make me feel like I was crazy or she's a mystic. She's a mystic trapped in a shitty place too, and I actually have a lot of empathy for her, and I hope the best for her. She is somebody super cool, and I miss her already. But I was only hanging out with her for, just a short time, and I got in my truck, I got in my van, and headed back to Kansas. And here I am. And when on the way back home, I had all these ideas of things I was going to try to do to make money, and I had inspiration, and I was really hopeful. And then I shared that with my wife, and she kind of poo-pooed the one main idea I had because it involved balloons. I didn't know she was so opposed to actual balloons. It sucks because this clown likes balloons. Like, I've liked balloons for a long time. I wish helium was not so expensive. I would give out balloons to kids like the Joker, like a Joker, like a clown. So I'm kind of stuck. YouTube, I don't know what to do. I really want to go back to Colorado and just start a shop. Like, that's what I need to do to feel good about myself. That's where I belong. Look at this face. Does this face belong anywhere but a tattoo shop? Pretty much not. Like, then, me and my wife fought for hours. I'm not even here like 12 hours, and we had like a massive fight because I came back early because I was hoping to go to Colorado with her. But after realizing the way she was framing things, I asked her, do you really want it? It doesn't seem to me like you want me to go to Colorado with you. And she wanted me to ride with her in the car to Colorado, but that she just wanted to ditch me and hang out with her mom, which I understand. She needs alone time with her family. I wasn't trying to take that from her. But I thought we could hang out a little bit. I mean, I haven't seen her for 3 weeks. I was hoping to spend some time with her in Colorado and maybe see my family and smoke a joint, Like, I love Colorado for the weed. I'm not going to lie. Like, I hate fucking Kansas because it's illegal to smoke weed here. And I don't abuse marijuana, but I use it for anxiety. I use it to help me sleep. I use it for my back pain. I have serious herniated disc in my back and my neck from multiple car accidents and living a rough life. And I enjoy to smoke I smoke when I have total freedom to smoke as much weed as I want. I literally smoke an eighth a week. That's it. That's all I smoke. It's like a couple hits in the morning, couple hits mid-afternoon, and a couple hits maybe before I go to bed. I don't overindulge. I never will smoke a whole joint myself, like, or even a whole bowl. Like, literally 2-3 hits maybe, and I'm done. Because as soon as I feel it, I stop. And I think it should be legalized across the board. It's way more safe and better for people that deal with anxiety and pain than anything else out there, period. And I've tried other things, and it just is. It's without a doubt the safest drug you can use. I mean, yes, it's a hot gas, so it probably does cause some kind of lung problems in the long term. But Jesus Christ, motherfuckers, as many cars and planes taking off from this planet every day and starting up, just living is dangerous and it causes you to die. That's just the way it is. Our lives they're temporary. We are like a flower. We are born, we bloom, we wilt, and we die. That's, my cousin gave me that insight, and it's true. In ancient times, primitive people were much more aware of the fact that they were going to die, and they accepted it, and they, we believe that we have this legacy and we're eternal because of all the religious bullshit and these concepts. And I don't know what I believe anymore. I did a YouTube video years ago called God, the Universe, and My Beliefs or something like that, and I'm probably gonna watch it later tonight to see how much I've changed in the last 5 years. In fact, that's how I met this girl, was on that video, because she responded to me, and we had a correspondence, and I got to know her, and she commissioned some artwork from me, and she actually was one of the few people in my life that commissioned artwork from me and paid me to do artwork besides tattooing, which is super special because most of the artwork I've done has been tattoos, and I've sold a few paintings. I'm more successful in my living life than Van Gogh was in his. He didn't sell anything but to his brother, I don't think, and for food and stuff. So I'm not bitching about that too much. I mean, here's one of my paintings right there. Haven't sold that one. That is, I call it Big Nose California because it reminds me of California. Let's see, when did I do that one? 2017, 2 years ago. So, I guess I'll call this update 2019, the end of the year. This year sucked. No, I mean, unless I win the lottery before the end of the year, this year is going to fucking be a scratch. I moved here last December. My wife moved here last October. We had a miscarriage in December, right before Christmas. We were planning on telling our whole family that we were going to be, mother and father. That was going to be our Christmas surprise to the family, and my wife ended up having a miscarriage, and honestly, it's affected our relationship in ways that I don't think either of us fully acknowledge to one another. Sadness and grief and loss, and it sucks because I didn't ever want to have a kid, but when I found out I was having a kid, I was excited. I thought it was the universe saying, "Man, you're lucky. I didn't think my wife was able to have a kid." And then I got here to Kansas, and she gave me a present, and it was a onesie, and that grief hasn't left me. It hasn't left me. This year's been tough in so many ways. Like, The government shutdown delayed us buying this house for over a month, so we had to stay at her uncle's house, and he's a hunter mechanic guy that's pretty, opposite of me in a lot of ways. I didn't really want to be there. I was outside of town. I was totally isolated most of the day because my wife was working, they were working, I wasn't working. I was at home, at their home, not my home, and that was months. I did that from most of December and most of January of this year, and it was tough. And then we moved into this house. I did the only beautiful thing to come out of this year is I did a giant mural here in Hays, Kansas, at a restaurant. I did this beautiful big mural. I didn't make any money doing it, but it still looks cool, and I coated it with enough clear coat that it should last longer than I will. Um, I've been trying to come up with ways to keep myself busy, but I know in my heart and soul that I just want a tattoo. I want to get better at that. I have the skills now to lay down some damn good script and ink and line work, and I've developed a really professionally slick way using thermal printers to make up my stencils. I use all the best. I probably have $10,000 worth of tattoo equipment that I've been sitting on for a year. I'm watching my inks expire by the month. Right before I left Colorado, I invested like $3,000 in a full palette of Eternal inks because I like to have a full palette available whenever I do a full color tattoo, no matter what. I want to have every color possible. I don't like to mix my colors. I want to have them, pour them, put them in. Uh, so that's just, it's one of those shallow, superficial things that, what am I supposed to do now? Like, I've put all this time and effort, and I've been here for a year, and I can't get my license. I can't tattoo here. So I've been doing all this other stuff to try to stay busy. I did a big mural. We're going into further debt, me and my wife, every month that I'm not working. I got a job for 2 weeks being a line cook here at the restaurant that I did the mural for. And man, I have nothing but mad respect for the people that work behind the scenes at restaurants, because that shit is hard work. I did it for 2 weeks while these people were on vacation, and it hurt my back. You lean over at an angle on that grill that just is murder on your lower back. And they were paying me $10 an hour, and honestly, it wasn't worth it. I wouldn't work for $10 an hour doing that kind of work. I mean, and they were paying me more than they were paying their manager, because I was like, I won't work for less than $10 an hour. And I did it for 2 weeks, literally only 4 hours a day for 2 weeks, and it was enough to break my spirit and go, nope. I'm 43 years old, and I just am not built for working a grill. Not after I've took 6-7 years dedicated to becoming a good tattoo artist. Like, I just call it pride. I mean, I did it for 2 weeks because they needed the help. They were going on vacation to California. Ironically, they were going to San Diego, California, where I'm from originally. I was born at, and so it's just been rough. I got back last night, and with all this hope, and we were going to take her boss out to dinner, and he had plans, so we decided to go out to dinner, and I'm at Applebee's here in Hays, and within 10 minutes of sitting down, some redneck at the bar literally stared at me like intently. Like, I get the long stare out here in Hays. Like, people stare at me. I'm used to being stared at. It's to be expected when you put this much shit on your face. I understand. I'm not like, oh, people can stare at me, boo-hoo. Like, I don't care if people stare at me. I mean, in Colorado, people stared at me, but they'd stare and then look away. Or actually, a lot of times people come up to me, except for in this state, and they're like, wow, nice tattoos, man. I love your ink. I get that a lot when I'm not in Hays, Kansas. But out here, I get what I call the long stare. People are like, I'm not exaggerating. Like, they literally make faces. They like make a frowny face, and then I'll look at them and I'll stare at them back like, "What's up? Why are you staring at me?" And they just keep like they seen Jesus or something. I don't know what the fuck's going on in their head. Except I do know what's going on in their head when they actually start pointing and laughing at me and nudging their hillbilly redneck friend sitting next to them at the bar and go, "Look at that guy! I just couldn't do it, man." That's what this guy said. I just can't do it. I don't understand. Like, I could read the words he was mouthing when he made fun of me. And it'd be different if this only happened once, but this is like the 1, 2, 3. I had a little kid do it to me out here. Just stare at his point. Like, little kids stare at me. Little kids, I love little kids, but kids are programmed by their parents, and you can tell what kind of mindset a parents of a child has by the way the child acts. I've had some great experiences with kids. I think I talked about them on one of my YouTube videos. I had a kid one time in the grocery store in Longmont, Colorado. It was probably my happiest memory of how a kid reacted to me. He was probably 5, 6, I don't know, 5 or 6 years old. He wasn't much older than that. He was his mom was grocery shopping, and he was in the little thing where the kids sit, where they push around the cart, a big cart, and he was sitting at the top. And he came around the corner with his mom, and he goes, "Look, Mom, that guy's got a dragon on his face. Oh my God, he's got a dragon on his face." He was so excited, like he knew it was a dragon. He was flabbergasted that I had a dragon on my face. And then his mom apologized. I was like, "No, don't worry about it. It's cool. Like, I love it." And then I went to the next aisle, and then like 5 minutes later, he came around with his mom, and he goes again. He goes, "There he is, Mom. There he is again. That guy's got a dragon on his face. Oh my God, that's so yeah." He just got so excited. I've had 2 or 3 kids call me Batman. I mean, that's pretty fucking cool when a kid thinks you're Batman just because you got half your face tattooed like some kind of Batman cowl. I've had kids think I was a wrestler. They're like, "Are you a wrestler?" Because of the makeup. They think it's makeup. So I'm not down with people reacting to me positively or being interested or being curious. Like, that doesn't bother me. Sorry. If I'm gonna yap, I gotta eat a cough drop because my throat doesn't always like to be yapping this long. But when a little kid, like this kid that did it to me, was at a baseball game. I mean, he wasn't little. He was probably like 11 or 12, so he should have known better. And you would think in this Midwest place where all these religious people, they teach some kids some goddamn manners and respect of other human beings, and fucking you don't point at somebody and stare at them and then just point. Like, this kid was like, what the fuck? Like, I don't even know how to react to that. He's a little kid, so I didn't do anything, obviously. But I've had 3 other adults do that to me out here. I've had that lady at the Halloween store I worked. It wasn't about my tattoos, it was about my political stance, because I told her that, the president was a Joker and that he was scarier than the new Joker movie, in my opinion. And I didn't expect them to be Trumpers. They liked my Marilyn Manson shirt, so I figured they were on the level. I made assumptions. I made a lot of assumptions out here. I made a lot of mistakes. I made the assumption that I can come out here and work. So all that is just a bunch of boo-hoo, motherfucking boo-hoo. I'm not trying to, But the biggest thing that's struggling with right now is my marriage. Like, it's going downhill faster than the Grinch on a sled in one of those Christmas movies. You know what I mean? It's just, it's falling apart. And I can't seem to I don't want to be here. I can't be here anymore. After last night, I came back asking the universe for a sign of, with all my ideas, what should I do? And literally within like an hour, my dreams had been crushed by my wife. Some redneck fucking made fun of me publicly, which, if I wasn't married, I would be shoveling the shit back at them as much as they give me the shit. I'd be like, you know what? You want to fucking laugh at me? Fuck you, motherfucker. Go suck a fucking dick. Or something. No, I probably wouldn't say that. That's very, whatever. It's not very nice. I probably wouldn't do that, but I'd be like, what's up? What will you take a picture? It lasts longer. I would react differently if I wasn't married, because this is such a small town, Hays, Kansas, that if I act extremely, I'm going to get a reputation quickly. And I probably already have a reputation because I've already had run-ins. I've already been pulled over twice. I've had the cops come to my house because of bullshit. And I haven't done anything. I haven't done fucking anything wrong. But I'm a weirdo. I'm a freak. So naturally, they're going to keep an eye on me. It's made me, become so paranoid that I just don't want to be here. I just do not want to be in Hays, Kansas anymore. And I wanted to go to Colorado with my wife and spend some time with her, and it was apparent to me she didn't want me to go. And we fought, and we fought, and we fought. And I asked her, "Oh, did you cry when I was gone?" No. She only cries when I'm around. That makes me feel horrible. I didn't marry my wife to make her cry, but that's what I'm good at. I make women cry, not on purpose. I try to be honest. I try to be one of the good guys. I try to be a light soldier. I really try to be somebody that improves on a yearly basis. And this year, I've not improved. If anything, I've lost traction on who I am. I'm not perfect. I suffer from lots of different things that are somewhat just mental. Some are physical. Some are just life. We all do. We all have our baggage. We all have our problems. I really want to work on empathy this next year. I've lost some of my empathy being here. I've gotten bitter. I don't want to be bitter. I've gotten bitter towards my marriage. My wife loves it here. She has a good job at the university. She's happy in what she's doing. She's just not happy we have a home, but just because you own a home doesn't mean that you have a home. I've learned that. Just because opposites attract don't mean they stay together. I'm learning that one. I can't win. Like, I just can't win with my wife. It's like pulling teeth whenever we talk. I'm sure I'm not the only man that feels this way. We also have had some intimacy issues since the miscarriage. I guess that's a common thing, you know. Neither of us really talks about it. When we do, it's always too late and not enough to talk about. We don't deal with problems. We ignore them. I try not to, but I can't pull teeth, and I'm tired of pulling teeth. I'm tired of fighting. I'm so tired of fighting with my wife. We fight way too much. I never thought I'd be trapped in a sexless, fucking fighting all the time marriage that we're on the verge of, I feel like we hate each other. I feel like she hates me and I hate her. I mean, I don't hate her. I love my wife. But I hate the situation and I hate the way it's affecting us. We're going into debt. I mean, we're not as in debt as most people I know, but it's enough debt to cause me mental stress because shit, 3 years ago we weren't in debt at all. We had zero debt. I made sure of it. I sold a bunch of investments to make sure we were at zero debt. We started 3 years ago with no debt. And now we're literally the worst debt we've ever been in because we moved out here and I haven't worked for a year and I hate it. I'm throwing around the word divorce because I don't know what else to do. Like, I want to leave. I don't want to divorce my wife. I love my wife, but I want her to come with me. She agrees that this was a mistake moving here, but she's not willing to leave because she has a $15 an hour job at a fucking university that she thinks is more important than our marriage. And it pisses me off because I want to go back to Colorado. I don't care. I don't care if she finds a job as a lunch lady and I fucking dig ditches. Like, I'd rather be in Colorado doing that than be here in Hays, Kansas. Yeah, Colorado's like California was in the 90s. Like, it's very much, you got to be careful now. There's a lot of people there. Crime has risen. But what's nice about it is very diverse. Like, there's so much diversity there. There's not very much diversity here in Hays, Kansas. It's pretty white bread, German, Trumpville. Like, that's how I describe it. It's mostly white people. It's mostly conservatives. It's mostly religious people. Yes, there's the university. But I don't hang out at the university. I actually was accepted into the university, Fort Hays University. I could go next semester. But I did that jazz already. I went to a school. I went to community college and it didn't work out very well for me. I don't fit into those kind of situations. Like, I'm not built to play those kind of games sometimes. I can play them for a short period and then I start realizing this is just a bad joke. A lot of academia to me is just a bad joke. It's what I call mental masturbation. All the motherfuckers do is sit around conjecturing and coming up with stuff, but no real solutions. They just talk. It's like take a philosophy class if you want to know what academia is like. It's not ever intended to answer any questions. It's just intended to create more questions. That's the point of philosophy in college. They don't want any solutions. They just want to ponder the fucking questions forever. And at a certain point, you got to do something. You can't just sit and go, well, what if, what if what? What if you don't ever fucking do anything? You just sit around going, what if all the time? Like, I've done enough of that in my life. I'm 43 years old. I don't want to put my tattoo, goals on hold for 3 or 4 years. My wife wants to stay here and get a master's degree. And she thinks that if she does that in 3 or 4 years, that we'll be able to leave Hays and she'll be able to get a better job. But I'm worried if she does that, she's not going to want to leave here. If she stays at her job for 3 or 4 years, she's going to move up the chain. She's going to get more established, and I'm going to wilt. I'm just going to wilt the next 3 or 4 years. My soul's going to just die. And I really worry about physically getting harmed here because of the way these people are out here. It's a viable concern. It's a realistic concern. So all I can do out here is be a hermit. I mean, I could go to college and then come home. And I don't know if that's enough for me. I really don't. Like, I wouldn't say I had a lot of friends in Colorado, but I had some acquaintances that were good people, and I enjoyed the once a week I'd go out or once every couple weeks and do my rounds and talk to people. I did a lot of picking at thrift stores because I'm a toy collector, and there was just a lot more to do in Colorado, where here there's nothing to do. There's no bookstore here where I live. Not one bookstore. College town, there's not one used bookstore. There's no record store. There's no comic book store. There's a Walmart, There's fried food, there's places to go watch football, and there's places to drink. Um, there's parks and stuff, there's places to walk around, but honestly, the weather here sucks. Like, I kept waiting for good weather to come. Everybody's like, oh, just wait, it's on its way. Well, I've been here a year. Today it snowed 4 inches. Like, I saw like maybe 2 weeks of good weather the whole year I've been here. 90% of the time, it's either fucking windy as fuck, it's cold, it's rainy, it's shitty, period. Like, the weather here in Hayes sucks. Like, I don't like it. The weather in Colorado is not the best either, but it has long, beautiful stretches. Like, I mean, there's like 2-3 weeks of really intense storms sometimes and rain, and there's same in the winter. There's 2-3 weeks of rain, but like more than 70% of the time, the weather in Colorado is pretty nice. And I don't mind cold. I don't like wind though. I don't mind. It can be chilly because I like to dress. I love wearing beanies. I have a ton of jackets. I love dressing up. I'm very much a fashion diva, as a guy. I love it. I love dressing extravagantly. So if it's cold, that just gives me an excuse to dress even more extravagantly. But wind, I left Nederland, Colorado when I lived there because there was 14 days of, I think it was 40-mile-an-hour consecutive wind. And I said, fuck this, man, this sucks. And well, for other reasons too. Like, that's a whole different YouTube video. But I don't want to get a divorce. But I'm starting to think it's my only option of happiness for both of us because we cause each other's misery. That's all we do is just, we invoke anger in one another now. I mean, we love each other, but we cannot figure out a way to communicate. Every time we communicate, it's like, turns into this, I feel like I'm pulling teeth. I don't understand what she's saying. She doesn't understand. And I personally think it's not all me. Maybe this is my ego, but I feel like I have a very good control of what I express, and I'm very clear on what I'm trying to ask. And if I'm not clear, I try to clarify until I get clarity on both sides. That's just because I've been through a lot of situations in my life where things were unclear, and it's not what you say, it's what you don't say sometimes that confuses the situation. So I very much try to be clear. And yes, I'm an emotional person. I talk with my hands a lot of times. I get loud. My voice inflections go up and down. My wife knows this about me by now. She should know that I'm not directing anything at her. It's just the way I am. I'm an intense person. And my intensity has not been, I don't think she's ever gotten used to it. I don't think I've gotten used to it. I've been living with me for 43 years and I still ain't used to my fucking ass. I got a lot of emotional issues. The only time I really truly feel zen is when I'm tattooing. I try to explain this to people. Like, you could have a mariachi band and midgets juggling clowns, and you could have all kinds of stuff going on right around me while I'm tattooing. There could be literally like dinosaurs eating aliens, and there could be all kinds of crazy shit going on, neon shows and dubstep. All that could be going on in a 3-ring circus with trampolines. And if I was tattooing your ass, all I would be doing was you could be talking. Half the time people talk to me when I'm tattooing them, I don't even hear them. I'm like, oh, sorry, I wasn't listening, because I'm focusing on this very intense Celtic knot that I'm inscribing into your flesh at 5,000 rotations per minute with my needle, So that's the only time, like, that's one of the, I think that's why a lot of tattoo artists get addicted to tattooing, is because it's very zen. When you are doing a tattoo, you are in that moment. All that moment is what you're at. Every second you're watching that needle. You're watching that needle. I tattoo off the end of my needle, so my needles hang a little farther out than I don't tattoo to the tube. Even when I shade, I don't tattoo to the tube. I hang my needles out farther than the tubes, and I work off the end of my needles. And I actually have learned to have a much lighter hand. It doesn't take as much pressure as people think when they first start. I think I've developed a pretty efficient way of tattooing that works off the end of the needles, and it's 100% zen, and I miss it. In some ways, I feel like a vampire that doesn't get to feed enough now that I'm not tattooing, because there's that whole exchange of energy. There's blood. There's money. There's all kinds of things with tattooing that make it very desirable, that make me feel, the highest I've been in the last couple years is when I did a really good day of tattooing. Like, at the end of the day, not only did I have money in my pocket, but I was proud of what I did, and I got to share my art with the world, and people loved it. And it's hard for me to let that go. I don't know if I'm willing to. I really don't. That's the thing. I don't know if I want to. I don't know if I should. What else am I going to do? I'm not going to sell cars. I'm not going to work at Macy's. I'm not going to be a line cook. I'm not going to be a construction worker at 43. I'm not going to join the military. I guess, I mean, maybe I could put my services on the internet to like go to your, like revenge is me kind of thing where I just go to your work and like scare people or something. Like maybe I could do that. I don't know if that pays well. I think they did a movie about it. I don't know. I'm just joking. I can't think of anything else I could do and be successful. There's so many fucking puppies on this planet right now. So many people like Primus. Too many puppies, And the thing is, like, I have lots of skills. I know how to make candles. I made soap. I paint. I can paint pictures. But it's very competitive out there, and I'm not a young man anymore. And there's better artists out there than me. I know that. I see them. I follow them on Instagram. They're great. There's some amazing. There's better tattoo artists than me. I'm not gonna lie. Obviously, there's way better tattoo artists than me. There's way worse tattoo artists than me too, working at shops right now. And I'm middle of the road right now. I strive to get better, as all of you that follow me on Instagram know, or YouTube. I've gotten better. I got so depressed today. I went into Facebook and I deleted all my pictures, all of them. I deleted my profile picture. I deleted my cover picture. I deleted every bit of information about me. I just don't fucking care anymore. Like, so depressed because my wife vague books when we have these fights on Facebook, and then it becomes like I have to look at her shit, which is all directed at me and our fights and shit, but in a vague way where nobody could actually ascertain that information for what she's putting up. But I know what she's talking about. So it's just this horseshit thing that I fucking hate that she does. And she ain't the only one that does it. Lots of people do it. The vague booking on Facebook is very popular. So I'm just sick of Facebook. But I'm addicted to it. I'm not going to lie. I could delete my account. I want to permanently delete it. But I follow people. Some of my friends I talk to on Facebook. And Facebook Messenger is the best way for me to communicate with people. And some people I know, the only way I know how to reach them is on Facebook and Facebook Messenger. And some of them are clients. Some of them people I plan on tattooing again. Some of them I'm going in December to tattoo in Colorado. Now that I'm not tattooing out of my home anymore, because I refuse to tattoo here in Hays, Kansas, they throw me in jail. I'm basically a traveling tattoo artist. I'm working out of people's homes illegally. I don't really want to do that, but I can't afford to get a shop in Colorado. I went to Colorado and tried to scout out a shop. I found one in Fort Collins that I could have financially probably swung for a year. But literally within 2 miles of where I was going to put my shop was 10 other tattoo shops in Fort Collins, right by College Avenue, right by the college there in Fort Collins, Colorado. And I was like, Jesus Christ, man, 10 shops, 5 guys. I'm 50 guys deep into this shop. And yeah, I could have done it. I could have hustled. I could have done like $50 tattoos, $25 tattoos. I could have like just worked my ass off for for 2 years to build my rep and get some people working under me. And I might still do that. I'm not giving up on that. But God, to start over after so many years of working so hard is not what I was looking forward to. I was hoping to come out here and open a shop here in Hays and have a home and be married and be happy. And life doesn't always turn out how you expect. Boo motherfucking who, right? I'm not, unaware of the fact that life's not always fucking fair. So, I just don't know what to do. I don't want to divorce my wife. But I don't think I can stay here in Hays for 3 or 4 more years. 1 year was enough to almost crush me. I've had thoughts of suicide since I've been here. I haven't had thoughts like that since I was a teenager struggling with depression. I've had thoughts of just cutting myself again. I haven't got a tattoo at all this year. This is the first fucking year in many years I haven't got a tattoo. I was supposed to get a tattoo in Asheville. But everybody was so busy with their own shit that they didn't have time. The people I was going to trade work with. And it's really fucked up how modern life just makes us so goddamn busy where we, I go back to Colorado like 2-3 times a year and I'm like, hey, I'm going to be there. Anybody got time? And all these friends, that I fucking had there, they don't even have time to go get coffee with me when I'm in town for a week. It's like, wow. I don't know. It's made me realize that my definition of friend has always been, I have standards that have always been higher than other people can meet. And it's caused me problems because I expect everybody to keep these standards like I do. Like you know, I don't know how else to operate except to have high standards for yourself and others. I guess I should just lower them to make it easier, is what everybody tells me. Not expect so much from people. But I do. I expect people to be good and honest and strive for a better future for themselves and others. As a symbiotic sort of relationship we all have, whether we realize it or not, on this planet. It's what we all need to strive towards. Even the enemy. We need to try to bring the cops and the Trumpers on a board too, because they're people too, and everybody just wants to have a good time. Like, everybody's trying to do their best. I understand that. I hope everybody gets what they want within reason, but you know, I watched a Grant Morrison video. Grant Morrison's one of my favorite writers. He wrote a comic book called Invisibles. He did a 45-minute interview on for disinformation. This thing, look it up. Grant Morrison, disinformation. There's like a little red devil thing on the podium where he speaks. I might be able to put a link down below. Super inspiring video about chaos magic and intention and just his process of writing the Invisibles comics. That comic changed my life. I started reading that comic book when I was in high school, or right shortly after. When it hit the shelves, I started reading that comic book as it came out, and I read every issue every month. I look forward to it, and I was homeless for some of that time, but I still managed to scrounge together like the $3.50 to get the comic. Back then, it was like $3 for a comic book or less. I made sure I got the comic book every month and read it because it was my fucking religion, and in a lot of ways, it still is. Like, I believe in chaos magic. I've been lazy since I've been here. I haven't done any ritualistic magic, and I need to. I need to make something happen. I need to do. I don't care what it takes. Like, I need to actually find my power again in my magic. But it's so hard when you're surrounded by. There's a spiritual war. I've tried to express that to my wife when I got back. There is a mystical spiritual war going on here in Hayes, and I am being just swarmed by demonic forces that want me to die. Like, they want me to give up. They want me to leave because they run this shit and they know it. And Trump and his crew, the mentality, that brainwashing, the religious Christian right, and the hate that they harbor in their soul and now openly just profess, they won here. That's who they will always win here. You know, the Democrats and the liberals and the homosexuals and the freaks, those people, they're the outsiders here. They're not loved, they're not wanted, they're rejected, and if you live here and you're one of those things, you know it. Like, if you're homosexual here, you're struggling. I can't imagine being, unless you're a closeted homosexual, I can't imagine being a homosexual in Hayes, Kansas. Like, I have a hard enough time with just facial tattoos. Like, and I don't say this, please don't misinterpret my words. Like, I love everybody. Like, I'm not saying this to be racist or homophobic. I may have been those things in the past, you know, because I was raised very religiously, and so I actually was when I was a super young teenager. But now I don't care what people do. I think it's God. Like, I'm not against what anybody does, as long as you don't hurt. As long as it's consensual and you're not hurting somebody, I don't care what you do. And even if you are hurting somebody, if it's consensual and you're adults, have fun. Just don't kill each other, you know? I don't really give a shit. It's your body, your life, and your decisions. You got to live with what you do. So just don't take innocence away from those that are innocent. That's like my biggest caveat. Like, there's no reason to steal the innocence from a child or to hurt old people. Those are like my two basic rules. If I was gonna write a fucking 10 commandments, it would not be 10, it would be 2. It would be like, protect the innocence of children as long as possible, and don't hurt old people. And don't hurt fucking animals. I guess I'd have 3. Like, people that hurt animals are shitbags. Like, I have 2 kittens. We got 2 cats this year, which I resisted heavily because I didn't want to get attached to them, and because I travel so much, it's hard sometimes, and I didn't want to have to worry about it, and that's something we did anyways. But if you hurt an animal, you are such a piece of fucking scum that you should just stick your head up your ass and then blow your ass off your head, or vice versa, because there's no reason to hurt something that is, like, even that's why I can't even stomach. Once I found out what Jimmy John, that motherfucker that makes those sandwiches, I've seen so many pictures of him with like giraffes and fucking elephants he's killed. That guy's a shitbag. If you eat Jimmy John's, you're a shitbag. Don't eat fucking Jimmy John's. I know this is not the rant I intended it to be, but people that go to Africa and hunt fucking endangered species, you're fucked up. You're what's wrong with things. And I try to have empathy for these people because that to them is having a good time. That's what they have to feel like to have a big dick, I guess, or to be a man or be a woman or whatever the fuck they think they got to do. It's so bullshit. Like on this trip, going to Asheville and coming back, every time I saw a dead raccoon or a dead fucking squirrel or a dead fucking antelope or a dead elk, I saw a dead baby black bear, like, leaving Asheville. Every fucking time I felt sad. Every fucking time I was like, oh man, this is what we get for having roads and cars. We get innocent animals that they got their apocalypse. I know I shouldn't care. I know a lot of people don't care. But I do. I don't like... I've only been driving for 3 years, so it was a very stressful trip driving to Asheville. I drove. In 3 days I got there. And, to make a long story short, I was very anxious and I almost fainted on the last hour of the trip going up the mountain because I was worried. I deal a lot with depression. I deal a lot with anxiety and fears. When I was younger, I didn't have this much shit. I think I was more brave when I was younger because, life hadn't kicked me in the balls so many times yet. And in some ways I'm wiser, but I'm also more afraid as an adult. I have more to lose. I quit drinking last summer. I haven't drank not even a thimbleful of alcohol since last summer. I quit drinking beer long before that because it was messing with my stomach. And I think I'm better for it. I've lost at this point I've lost about 25 pounds. Mainly from stress. You want to know the best diet is stress. You want to lose weight? Just fight with your wife like every day and lose your job for a year and go into debt and have nothing but nightmares and anxiety all the time and worry constantly about Trump starting an Armageddon, and you'll lose some weight, man. I guarantee it. I'm somewhat joking, but it's not 100% joke. So I got to find myself again. I got to find who I am again. I lost myself somewhere along the way this year. I lost my dreams. Those got crushed when I moved here. I spent like 2 months on the phone with the Board of Cosmetology here in Hayes trying to figure out a way to get my license, trying to make this home work in Colorado. I mean, in this home away from Colorado in Hayes, Kansas. I tried to make it work. We moved all our shit out here, all my crap, everything. I did all this work to this house. I put a glitter. If you can see it, I'll show you. Turn this on. See that? My wife wanted a glitter ceiling. She said she wanted glitter on the ceiling. 4 coats later, there it is. I removed all the popcorn, all the acoustic popcorn from this house, except for the upstairs bathroom, the upstairs guest room and hallway. But the living room, the kitchen, the downstairs living room, our bedroom, and the bedroom upstairs. So I removed all the popcorn. Upstairs, I rolled out texture, leaf texture. Anyways, to make a long story, I did a lot of fucking work to this house to make it a home, to make it our home, to make our dreams come true, to try to make it a fucking beautiful place that would be sanctuary. Despite all that, I've had a cop fucking come in my house and tell me I have to show him my ID 3 times in the same fucking night. I fucking hate it here, man. I cannot stand it here. And I don't want to be here anymore. I'm not happy here. And I don't want to be like, I'm not happy here. I've tried. It's not like I haven't tried. I've given it a year. My wife wants me to try 1 semester at the college. I might. I'm considering it. I don't really want to, just because it's a waste of time. What do I need to go to school for? For art? I am an artist. I eat, breathe, and sleep fucking art. There's art all over my body. You know what it takes to become a better artist? Do fucking art every day. I've done less art since I moved out here because of depression. Because I'm not tattooing. As a tattoo artist, you're forced to do art all the time because your clients demand it. And you're making decent enough money when you're not doing art. You can afford to do whatever kind of art you want. So, I don't know. That's a lot of excuses. I guess I could just paint full-time out here, but I'm never going to make any money. I'm sorry, but it's just, unless I got really lucky, it's really hard to make it as an artist. There's that, it's just, it is. I could sell prints. I mean, I might be able to get by. I could probably break even kind of thing. But I don't want to break even. I want to make some money so I can do stuff. Money is freedom. in this material construct, when you're poor like me and probably a lot of people like you, where if you didn't make money for a month, you'd be in trouble, you know? You would not. I gotta find my charger. I think it's upstairs. You would not, if you didn't make any money for a month, most people would be probably losing their home and their house and their car and everything else. So, I haven't made very much money this year, and I want to make more money. There it is. I want to work hard and get paid what I deserve for my talent. You know, that's not unreasonable. That should be okay for me to want. I shouldn't feel like a greedy, selfish piece of shit because I want to work hard and make money. Make enough money where me and my wife once a year can go on a 2-week vacation and not worry that we're, you know. It's just so much, everything's so goddamn expensive nowadays too. Like literally. What's that Star Wars Galaxy thing? I'd love to go to Star Wars Galaxy and build a friggin' lightsaber and hang out for a day. I just ain't got $4,000, you know what I mean? Everything's so expensive. Everything's just so complicated. I don't know even where to begin. It's so confusing. It's so just... The future is expensive. It's going to be more expensive, the future. And... I guess that's enough for now. That's my life update. I don't know where I'm going from here. My wife just took off for Thanksgiving to leave me here alone after coming back after 3 weeks being alone, pretty much. I went to visit friends and I spent most of the time alone there, which is a little depressing, you know, but people are busy. They got their lives. I have none right now, so that's why I'm here on YouTube doing a live video. Or actually, I was going to try to do a live video, and they're like, oh, you can't do a live video because you don't have 1,000 subscribers. Like, oh, I didn't know that. I'm glad Facebook doesn't have that, you know. Whatever, I don't care. There's so much bullshit now. I mean, and I'm very negative, so please forgive me. I'm not trying to be a negative person, but the last 24 hours have really broken my spirit. It's literally been, it's been 23 hours since I got home. And I'm ready to leave already. But I got to take care of these cats while my wife is gone, so I'll probably leave when she gets back. It's like that's what we're doing. We're doing the Fight Club thing, you know. Amazingly, we never see each other in the room for very long. Like, it's just going to be that way, I guess, until we actually finalize the divorce. And I'm tired of it. Like, it's not working. It's just not. I'm making her miserable, and she drives me crazy. And that's not a good combination. My intention was not to make her life miserable. My intention was to bless her life, and that was her intention for me. But she loves Hays, Kansas. She fits in here like a pea in a pod. And I fit in here like you trying to get, I don't know, what doesn't fit very well at all. Like trying to, like that meme you see on Facebook of that lady trying to put that mattress in her car that's like 3 times the size of her car. That's how I fit in Hays. I don't fit in Hays. I know I don't. I kind of figured it out. I figured it out before Halloween. I figured it out last summer when I got in a fight with her uncle about politics, and he said some really mean, hurtful, directed at me, personal attack kind of stuff in my own home, and I had to kick him out. I was like, no, dude, you're not going to come in my house and attack me personally and make fun of me and just belittle me in my own home. You can get the fuck out of here. Sorry, I don't put up with that shit in my house. If I'm outside and somebody does that shit, I'll generally walk away. Like, that's what I did at the Halloween store when this lady attacked me. I was like, hey, you ain't gonna get crazy. I'll just leave. I'll go get my thermos and my little hoodie and get out of here. But I'm very much sad. I had a good support system in Colorado. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know what I lost until I lost it. I should have stayed in Colorado. I should encourage my wife to stay working for Boulder County because she had a decent job. She was making like $25-26 an hour working for Boulder County. I was hustling really good there. I was making enough money where we did what we wanted. We didn't have enough space, and both of us working, we still didn't have enough money to buy a home. That was the main reason why we left. Because we had to squeeze everything we owned in a 1-bedroom apartment. that we're paying $1,000 a month for, and it's super expensive there. It would probably cost me $1,500 for that apartment now, and my fear is that if we stay here for 3 years, we'll never be able to get back to Colorado. We won't be able to afford it, and I can't convince my wife that fear is real. She thinks she's going to stay here for 3 or 4 years and get a degree in academia, and that she'll be able to transfer and make a bunch of money in another state, but I just don't see that happening. I don't see it happening. I see us, if she stays here 3 or 4 years, she's going to want to stay here longer. And I'm not going to stay here and risk it. I don't want to divorce my wife over this, but I don't want to live here. And I'm not going to go live in another state for 3 or 4 years while she gets a degree and pretend like this 43-year-old guy is married. Because if my wife's not following me where I go, then we're not married. I mean, I followed her here. I sacrificed all this here to try this. Didn't work. Doesn't work. Ain't going to work for me. It worked for her. So that's why it's difficult, because I don't want, also, as her husband, I want the best for her. And if this is the best for her, she says this is her dream job. I can't believe it. Like, I think she's meant for better personally. I think she could do better, but this is what she wants to do. She thinks this job, working for Fort Hays, is the best thing that she's ever had. And who am I to say it isn't? Except that I think she could do better. I think we could do better in Colorado. But she doesn't believe that. So I got to make some tough decisions over the next, from here to Thanksgiving, because she's going to be gone till after Thanksgiving. I'm pretty much stuck alone here for the next 6 or 7 days. And I have to think about what I want. And she wants to know what I want when she gets back. I told her what I wanted. She asked me like 3 times, "What do you want?" I said, "I want to get the fuck out of Hays. I want you to quit your job. I want us to go back to Colorado and find a place." And I mean, I've got like $6,000 squirreled away. We can get an apartment, and we could, put some shit in storage and start over. I'd rather start over there than stay here. And I want a tattoo. I want to open my own shop. That's what I've wanted since I was 19 years old. It's all I've wanted to do. Anybody that followed me on YouTube knows that how much passion and time I put into tattooing. So anyways, YouTube, if anybody's still watching this boring ass rant at this point, I thank you for listening and for your energy and time and caring about me. I'm going to do more updates. I'm going to update my channel, and I'm going to get back on the YouTube stuff. It's just, I got to get some shit together first. I got to figure out what I want out of life. And, well, I know what I want out of life. I got to figure out how to get it again. I was on track to get it, and everything's gotten derailed. And I don't know why, except for I tried to move to Hays, Kansas and make a life somewhere where I'm not welcome. And I'm done with that. I'm done. I'm almost 90% positive. I want to get out of here soon. I already called a storage place to find out if they had space. So, thanks everybody. Talk to you later.